And for our part of the world, most of the debates being held with county commissioners are in the northern part, the far northern part of the county. So we really are lucky to be here tonight, and we're glad to see so many of you here. Yeah, like we said, we'll start off. You have 1 minute answer, and then a 30-second rebuttal or clarification, if you so need.
Do we get graded on this?
I can grade you if you want. I can give you like ballots back. I'm done with that, though. We just had our state tournament, so I'm done with that. Okay, first question. We'll start off with a fairly easy question, but one that's of ultimate importance, I think, to the people in this room. The first question is, where does southern Utah County fall on your radar, and what is your vision for the area south of Provo? We'll start with Mr. Rebel.
Thank you. First of all, I wish we could sing our answers, because at least that way I usually know what I'm saying instead of speaking. But I'm from.
Don't take this from his time, but he's saying at
Corey Wright's funeral. He's saying, "Bring him home from Lakeville." I have heard it all over the world, and he's saying it better than as well as I've ever heard. I'm from Lehigh. I've been on the city council in Lehigh for 10 years. Don't hold that against me. I have some pretty good roots here. I married into some great roots in the south end of the county. My in-laws, we spent almost every other Saturday while they were alive. The Nelsons, just about 2 blocks from here. There was always a debate whether it was berries or glades on where we were going to eat lunch. They had farmland down here. They still do. Blake Nielsen still has farm just east of the freeway. It's my wife's side of the family. My in-laws have about 150 acres in Benjamin that they still continue to farm out there. So I understand a lot of the issues, a lot of the concerns that you have in the south end of the county. I know there's concerns with water rights. I know there's concerns with land development issues, and that's it. So I feel like I have a vested interest in the south end of the county. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm a Springville guy, live in Springville, married a Springville girl. And can you not hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Gary Anderson. I'm the current county commissioner. Molly, stand up. That's my beautiful wife there. And I am a South County guy. We commissioners are involved in the entire county, but the South County it's our turn. We have development coming this way, and we've got to preserve our farmland. We are still the #1 agricultural county in the state of Utah, and we're going to stay that way. We are beautiful down here, thank you, but there is going to be some development. Now what we've done is we're going to put some manufacturing, some clean manufacturing out between Goshen or Genola and Eureka out there with the church. We're partnering with the church. We just formed the Nebo Water District. We've got water that we're going to put out there. So we're going to have jobs. Nebo School District's finally going to have a tax base, for crying out loud. And so we're going to do that. I love Utah County. I love South Utah County. And I live in Springville.
I'm Greg Graves. I also live in Springville. Actually grew up very close and in the same ward with Gary, and so know him well. I too married a Springville girl. In fact, I married current County Commissioner CP, Doug Whitney. I married his niece. Live here, love it. In fact, if you know any of the Stewarts or Graveses that are around here in Benjamin, Lake Shore, Spanish Fork, Springville, that's us. I love it. I'm never leaving, and I'm going to fight for us to protect it and keep it that way, so that we have what it is we want. Whether we want big business like they have in Spanish Fork or rural farms in Payson, that's what we're going to do as county commissioners and fight to help you guys have exactly what it is you want. Just like it is right now. There's no reason for me to come in here and tell you guys how to do it when you're already doing it well. We just need to keep fighting the good fight for you guys to protect you in South County, and that's what I would do.
My name is Howard Stone. Sorry I arrived a little late and I pulled in here on a flat tire. I'll have to worry about that after the meeting. Anyway, I've been living up to Provo for about 30 years now. Married to a wonderful little school teacher who's taught almost 70 years herself. I grew up on a family farm, spent the summers with my grandfather milking cows, feeding chickens, slopping hogs, baling a little hay. And as you know, Utah County, of all the counties in the state of Utah, is the highest ag-producing county in the state. So congratulations to all of you that have anything to do with it here in South County. Congratulations on your farms and all that you're doing. I'm running for commission because I don't think I can tell you anything to improve on what you're doing in that regard, except get out of your way and let you keep doing and keep government regulation out of your hair. Is that it? Okay, good.
I'd like to apologize and backtrack for just a second. They were supposed to have a 1-minute introduction on their own, and last time I did this, our chairman Casey Vokes did the introduction, and this is my second time. So we're going to give them their 1-minute introduction, take that with a grain of salt with what they just said on their first response. And so now it's whatever you want, and then we'll get into the harder questions. 1 minute.
I covered some of what I wanted to say when I introduced myself. Again, I grew up on a small farm in Lehigh. My dad had, we had race horses, cutting horses, or quarter horses, and then he went into cutters or chariot racing, which made not a whole lot of sense. And then we got into cutting horses, and for those of you who don't know chariot racing, you win no money. The world championships are in Pocatello, Idaho, and if you win the world, you don't even get a trophy. So that's why I say it didn't make a lot of sense. But it taught us a lot as kids. It taught us a lot about hard work. It taught us about a lot about how important agriculture is. We raised a lot of hay. We sold a lot of hay. We could never compete though with how quality the hay was in South County here. We tried, but we couldn't. But one thing that I've learned of being the city council in Lehigh is we still have a lot of agricultural area in Lehigh, right along Pioneer Crossing. And we do everything we can to protect that. And I've had that opportunity to do that, and I'm proud to say that we are protecting that. And that's what you guys are hoping for as well.
Okay, once again, I'm Gary Anderson. This is CA, by the way. The only thing you have to remember is CA for Anderson. And when I was, it never gets old. When I was recruited to run about 7 years ago by some mayors and law enforcement, Utah County wasn't doing very well. We didn't have a freeway, we didn't have commuter rail, we weren't involved in economic development. Since that time, I came in. I like to take credit for all of what we've done, but you know better than that. I helped change the chemistry, and we all work together, and now we are called the best managed county and the best managed state in Utah. We have all kinds of in the nation. We have all kinds of accolades, #1 economic, #1 place to do business, #1 place to live, all of those kinds of things. I want to keep that going. We've got some things lined up in terms of economic development. We've got some goals in terms of transportation and commuter rail. We're going to bring commuter rail down to Payson, by the way, and we're going to push it all the way to Santa Cruz. So we have a lot of things we're going to do, and my time is up. Thank you.
I don't know how to turn that off.
You're fine. It helps. It helps.
If I talk now, does my time, do I get extra? Okay, just a little bit more about me. Not only have I been here, but the reason I got into the race is because I can no longer sit on the sidelines. When I watch Fox News or any national news or any local news, they kept saying, oh, we have a problem. We have a spending problem. Sean Hannity talks about it all the time. And I can no longer sit there. I have 3 small girls, and I need to fight for them so that the future is bright for them. It is true, we live in a great place. However, we have a problem. Our debt has increased from 42 million in our bonded debt from 42 million in 2006 to currently $275 million, not going to be paid off till 2039. We are currently using revenue money of over $300 million, which is up in 2 years from $167 million. That is an unsustainable way of life, especially when our population is only increasing 2.2% on average. That's why I got in, because I've done my homework, I've looked at the finances, I know we can make a difference.
Folks, you're hearing a lot of things on this stand tonight in the news, and a lot of elected officials are taking credit for the goodness of what this county is. It's a natural phenomenon. Our society, our morals, the education level, it's a natural place for businesses to want to come and have a workforce. I'm in this race because the incumbent in this race is running for a 5th term. And along with everything Mr. Graves here spoke on debt, before the great Doug Whitney was elected to the commission, a one-term and out gentleman, the commission put us into a $30 million bond debt for a convention center in downtown Gridlock, Provo. They should have put that to a referendum for us, the people, to vote on that before indebting us in that. They also managed to raise their salaries 30% from $70,000 to over $100,000 with expense accounts to go with it. This has got to stop.
It's all right. Those are your opening statements. Your kind of opening statements. But you will have an opportunity. In fact, let's jump right into that right now. There's a couple of lead-ins to a few of my questions. We'll jump in on the last one. If my statistics are right, I just looked it up this afternoon. The governor gets paid $109,000 per year, plus benefits. County commissioners get roughly $104,000 a year, 3 of them. In essence, our executive branch of the county, the 3 commissioners are getting paid more than the governor and lieutenant governor of the state of Utah. Do you feel this is justified, and why or why not? Yeah, let's start on this side.
These are difficult economic times. A lot of people are struggling to have a part-time job, let alone a full-time job. And national health care, Obamacare, whatever you want to call it, is making businesses around here cut everyone back to about 29 hours a week. Is it right that your elected officials are skating around on these out of sky salaries, especially when one was raised 30% here when the market was crashing? And there's an appetite within the elected officials department to raise it again after this election. So beware who you vote for. And there's an appetite to raise your taxes. The Deputies Association is wanting to get some more money into the Sheriff's Department. And they'll saddle the horses they want to run to get the money they need in their department. You gotta look all around you when you're vetting your candidates for this race. Thank you.
Okay, do I believe the governor should make more than county commissioners? Yes. And do I believe that the county commissioners are making plenty of money? Yeah, they're definitely making plenty of money. In fact, I would not be opposed to a pay cut. I left the business world where I had a very good salary and left and became a teacher so that I could make a difference. It's time that we realize that when you go into public offices, you're going in to do a public service, not get rich. And so when we go and provide that service, we understand there are parts to that, and we sacrifice certain things. We know we could make more money running a business, but government's not a business. So we need to start getting real about how much we pay all county or elected officials statewide.
Okay, first of all, let me say, we make $103,000. I'm an attorney, I took a pay cut when I came. That has nothing to do with anything. This is a public service. When I came into office, they had just given themselves a raise. I think it was up to $90-some thousand. I don't know, we had a salary study. We put the elected officials, all the elected officials on the low end of the median, and that's where it was. We make less than any metropolitan county in the state. We make plenty of money. In fact, there are two elected officials that tried to give those raises back. One of them sitting back there, Brian Thompson, and the other one sitting right here, Gary Anderson, and we could not by law. That salary study was done before the economy tanked. We have not raised taxes since then. I will not raise taxes. I agree with Howard. That's the one thing he and I agree on, is that we're not going to raise taxes. And we need good people in office. Our people are not paid enough, not any of them. And,
Thank you. When I first ran for city council in Lehigh 10 years ago, and I made up my 27 votes, I wish I could call those people sometimes and shoot them out. Should have voted for Marilyn Cheese. But I remember when I won the next day, the mayor called and the city administrator called and said, "Why don't you come and meet with us? We have paperwork for you to fill out," and things like that. And as we sat there, they handed me the W-9 or the I-9 form and said, "You need to fill this out so we know how to pay you." I'm like, "We get paid for this?" I didn't even know we got paid. I thought it was a complete, absolute public service. We get paid a lot. We still don't get paid a lot. But, you know, for the last 10 years, I've been spending many, many hours for not a lot of money, and I see the value of the service. There are many basketball games and soccer games and dance recitals that I've missed on a city councilman's pay that I see the value of the service. Is the salary too high? Probably, in my mind it is. But it's not the service that you're getting.
Okay, any rebuttals or clarification? You have 30 seconds. Anybody?
I'll say one thing. The mention was that, Mr. Stone talked about the endorsement of the Deputies Association. I find that interesting because he actually wasn't at that meeting where they interviewed us to find out who they would be backing. I have a little bit of a tie with, and I won't apologize for that, with the sheriff's office. Those men are like family to me, and I will do everything that I can to make sure that they are protected, that we are protected, and if my competitors want to say that I'm going to come in and raise taxes so the sheriff has everything they need, I'm not going to do that. As an elected official, okay.
Now,
30 seconds.
I understand when they gave the raises, they were looking at janitors and groundskeepers, and they said to give them a raise, we'd have to take one too. On the deputies, Jim Tracy is a great friend of mine for years, and I'll be right behind him with my own six-shooter to defend this county. But putting bulletproof windshields at the tune of $18,000 per squad car when you turn them over every 3 years, no?
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
No. Not true. It's not true. It's not true.
They've already changed procedure on the way the deputies address pulled over vehicles. Instead of going to the computer, they call in the license plate and wait for dispatch on the secondary channel to get back to them on the information on the car. And at Corey Wright's funeral, I put up 2,000 flags, which were donated by Colonial Flag. And God bless you and him.
Let's move on, please. Thank you. Let's move on. Thank you.
An issue from the audience.
You're right on time, Mr. Boone.
Chad, let's not, we don't want to make this a political issue. We've had a terrible tragedy in our county, and everybody's heart goes out. We love the sheriff's office.
Amen.
And we're going to do everything we can to support the sheriff's office. Now, let me just say, in the last 7 years since I've been in office, the sheriff's office has had a 34% increase in budget. We haven't raised taxes to do that. That's almost $12 million. We're going to keep doing that. Did they endorse John? Yes. Am I crushed? Yes. Am I going to keep supporting them? Absolutely.
By the way, we are having a debate up here right now at the beginning, so you have the opportunity to ask them any questions. So if you want any points of clarification, or you disagree with what's being said, now is not the time. The time will be afterwards when you can talk to the candidates individually. Okay? For the benefit of all of you. Okay, one of the other things we talked about early on in the first speeches was the water situation. What can you tell us about Utah County's water situation and what you plan on doing to address Utah County's water needs?
let's get started. Mr. Gary, great.
Well, we live in the desert, so I'm planning on planting cactuses because they store a lot of water, which is totally different. Some of the steps that the county's taken right now are very good steps, and we need to continue on some of those things. For example, we all know about some of the trails like Murdoch Canal Trail, where they enclosed it to save 15% of the water from evaporation. That's 15% of the water that we get to save. Those are the right policies to help procure our way of life. It's also about conservation and preservation for our way. To me, I have a hard time looking at county buildings with really green grass knowing that our water is drying up. It may be time, being in a desert climate, to look at zero landscape and planting some nice, beautiful rocks. And it's okay, because we need to save that water. I'd much rather my 10, now 11-week-old baby have her bottle with water rather than that lawn being green. Which way are we going next?
Let's go this way.
This way? Okay, I sit on the Central Utah Water Conservancy District Board of Trustees, and we're the ones that have brought the water out of Jordanelle, all those canals. We got it out to Johnny, we've got it out to Saratoga Springs, we've got it out to Eagle Mountain, and we're going to keep it going west that way. So we've done the same thing in South County. We're going to do the same thing in South County. That's the new Nebo Water Agency. We're bringing it out of the Strawberry drainage system. We're going to take it south so that you have water for the farms, and we're going to take it further west so that we can water our industrial parks we're going to put out there. We partnered with the church. The church has found some water out there we didn't know we had, and so we're going to have enough water. The thing we've got to do is develop it and deliver it, and that's what I sit on those things. I've been doing that for years, and it's a wonderful thing to have enough water. We're going to have enough water. Now, it would help if it kept snowing and raining and things like that, but we're okay. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Having grown up on a farm, understanding water to me, my family, and to most of you who have property that you are farming is sacred. It is a very sacred thing, and equally important and sacred are those water rights that each of us have as property owners. And I think that's something that as elected officials we need to remember as we develop, as we look at whether it's economic development or clean manufacturing, that those water rights that you as property owners have are sacred. As far as conservation, we just adopted a couple weeks ago in Lehigh our conservation plan. It's based on a stoplight approach: red, yellow, and green. Green is if we have 75% or more of our resources, then we're just asking them to voluntarily conserve. If it gets between 75 and 50% of our resources, then we ask them to conserve. We have some stipulations. In red, we have some more stringent and some penalties.
As I understand it, the Central Utah Water Project concerning the Jordanelle and Deer Creek reservoirs, Salt Lake County gets 45% off the top of that for their use. Now, on the back channels, I'm hearing about a desire they have to come down to the old Geneva property and dig about a dozen wells, which would really tax the aquifer running under that property and put the whole county in havoc. What we need to do on this commission is guard home base. Water is the most significant issue with all of the growth that we're surely going to have over the years to come. Water is the number one. It's above transportation. It is above anything else we deal with. So guarding home base politically, with the bigger county to the north, about the federal government intrusion ever increasing on our property rights year after year, we need to guard home base and guard our water supply.
Okay. Salt Lake County doesn't get 45%. They do have some that comes out of there by contract. The 12 wells that Howard's talking about are the wells that are on the Geneva property that Central Utah Water Conservancy District purchased, and that's part of the water that's going out to your area, and some of the water that we're using to sell. So we've got that water. I do agree with Howard. There's two things I agree with him on. Water is the critical issue of the future, and we have to defend it. Not just against Salt Lake County, but against Nevada and everybody else, Los Angeles and California, trying to take our water. We've been doing that for 7 years, and we'll keep doing it.
Everyone else good? Okay, I think this is our last question. One of the popular buzzwords among candidates, delegates, potential candidates is transparency when it comes to government. We want transparency in our government. One of the questions has to do with when our county commission meetings are. They're on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Our city councils have their meetings in the evening so the public can attend, so you can all be there, as many of you as possible. It makes it very difficult for your constituencies to be able to meet with you and find out what's going on when meetings are at 9 a.m. in the morning. So the question is this, what are your thoughts? Let's see. Is there a reason that we can't move the meetings to evenings to accommodate more public participation? And would you be willing to move the commission meetings to accommodate more input? And or, I guess we could follow up this, what would you do to increase the transparency in general? We'll start with Mr. Anderson.
The answer is no. There's no reason we can't have those meetings at night. In fact, this has come up before, and we talked about it. We tried one time to have meetings at night, and nobody came. And the rebuttal to that is, well, nobody comes to your 9 o'clock meetings. Well, that's not quite true. They do. But we're going to try it again. We're going to try it again. We're going to try to have meetings at night. And not only are we going to have them at night, we're going to rotate them. We're going to have some at Eagle Mountain. We're going to have some in Spanish Fork. We're going to rotate them and try to make it more accessible to people. I had a couple ladies from the Republican Women come in today and say, would you be willing to come to meetings that we called for the public? And I said, heck yes. We need your input. County commissioners need your input. We're not the smartest people in the world, but we know a lot of smart people, and I'm looking at them. And we need your input. And a lot of issues that I hear from you, I don't know about. If I don't know about them, I can't do the right thing, and I need your input. So the more meetings we have, my door is always open. I'm gone a lot, but my door is always open. The more input we get, the better we can do.
So my little slogan for my campaign is "Let's do this." One of the reasons why is because this can't be done by one person. The commission is 3 people, but the commission is 500,000 people in Utah County. This is something that we have to do together. I've been to a few of the meetings in the mornings, and they're so fast. They go by so fast. It seems like everything's already kind of decided before they even get there. That I would feel bad if we had them at night. I'm fine with that. I've been to a Tuesday night city council meeting now for 10 years, so that doesn't hurt me. But the content of the meetings, maybe more discussion, more opportunity. Transparency for me is a huge thing. Serving on a city council, when someone has a problem with the road, when someone has a problem with the coach in the junior jazz program, they're not calling a county commissioner, of course. They're calling their city council. So I've been on the front lines. Transparency with people. I understand what it takes, and I want to do this together.
I'm all for transparency and as many meetings that we need to have to get it. But if we're going to have a meetings, we better have all the commissioners there attending. And has been some question over the years about attendance, poorly ranging from 10 to 40% in some cases on boards and other governmental agencies that commissioners sit on. We've also had commissioners that have, regarding your property, the former background in geology, out putting liens on your property for your mineral rights, and other skullduggery happening in the office as too. Even though this is the best managed county in the best managed state, there is room for improvement in our budget, in the way we conduct ourselves in office, in the way we support law enforcement, the way we represent you as a public. All of you delegates here are representing your precincts, and one of us is going to represent this county. We all have to do our due diligence. Please do yours. Voting for one of us. Thank you.
Okay, my ideas are a little different, and I can't take credit for it. and I don't remember if it was the Beamans or somebody at a meeting I was at with them, but these meetings should be televised. I mean, our kids can communicate FaceTime back and forth anymore. It's not that hard, so we should be televising these over the internet. And also, why not Saturday meetings? A lot of us are talking about night meetings and Monday morning, whatever. Also Saturdays, to me, are a good idea to bring them in so we can have more input from the people, because that's really what this job is listening to you about what you want for your county. It's not about what I want. It's not about what anybody up here wants. It's about what you want. What we want as a county is to have more transparency. It's so hard sometimes to find out what it's about. It's not just listing the agenda on the internet. It's actually explaining what it is about. I've looked at that agenda, all 3 pages, like consent item. Who knows half the time what we're talking about? We need to make it more clear as well.
Can I do a rebuttal on one thing? You know, I've heard, I guess, when you've got the best managed county in the state, you have to struggle for issues. I've heard about this issue about attendance. I start about 7:30, 8 o'clock every morning. I finish about 8. My wife's back there. Ask her how many meetings I've been to. I go to my meetings. I work Saturdays. I work holidays. I call in when I'm in Washington, D.C. or someplace lobbying. I call into my meetings. I don't know where that comes from, but I am puzzled by that. I can't believe, Larry Ellerton said it best. This is, okay.
I just want to make it clear, I was not calling Commissioner Anderson out for not attending.
It wasn't you.
My idea of Saturdays is just another option for another date. I'm not afraid to put in the time was my only comment, and we'll listen to you people.
I don't fabricate this information. When the sheriff himself says he can't get a hold of Commissioner Anderson for hours or for a day or two, and he has to go to one of the other commissioners, that's pretty bad. And when other elected officials in the county confirm some of the attendance issues and boards, it has to, in light of transparency, we have to make it known to you, the voters. Thank you.
Elected officials are here, ask them, and ask the sheriff.
Okay, those are the last of our questions. We'd like to thank our candidates. We'll